that are sunny. Looking back, it was all needed. The problems, the pain, the trauma, the grieving. You are now tuned into the prisoner to painter. Prisoner to painter. Hard work, dedication. Rainy days, inspiration. Prisoner to painter. And now, a word from your local Coke dealer.
Welcome to the Prisoner to Painter podcast. I'm Nathan McDermott.
And I am Katie McDermott.
And today joining us all the way from, he's going to kill me, North Carolina, my best friend Chris Cooley, or as we know him, Skittles.
Here, let me.
What's going on?
Dude, thank you.
Can I flip it? Oh, I liked it. I don't know how to flip it.
Thank you for joining us, Skittles. You already know that we are very adamant on not doing anything over the internet because it takes away the face-to-face. But we're trying to expand, and I would not have anybody else to do this for the first time besides you. So thank you, man.
It's an honor to be on the Prisoner to Painter podcast. It really is. You know, I've been loving watching what you guys have been doing ever since the very first episode, and it's a little bit surreal to be actually doing my own interview on here.
Awesome, dude. Well, clearly I know a lot about you. Katie knows a lot about you. You know, the guests don't know a lot about you. You have a powerful fucking story when it comes to sobriety, and I know we'll work into that. But you watched our episodes, so you already know what I'm about, man. How would you describe your childhood?
It was long, man. I couldn't wait to grow up. I really couldn't. And of course, now being 31, I'm like, what was I thinking? But I mean, looking back, right? It always is a little bit different looking back than when I actually lived in my childhood. Because when I lived there, I was just like, I can't wait to be an adult, and I hated school, and I don't know. I felt like I generally had like a not so great attitude about almost anything, especially as a teenager. But I feel like that's pretty normal for teenagers. But I mean, when I see how friends of mine lived and came up and stuff, I had it good, even though I didn't think so at the time. I mean, there was always lights on in our house. The water was always running. There was food to eat in the fridge and all that. And so in the end of the day, you know, I could say whatever, but my parents, your parents, no one's parents had a like a book, an instruction manual or anything to show them how to be parents. And so I feel like the older I get, the more that I realize that, and the more that I realize that, you know, my parents definitely did the best that they could.
Yep. Dude, yeah. What was your family dynamic like, man? Brother or sister in the home, anything like that?
Yes, I have a twin.
Sorry. I wanted to see if we could hear it on TikTok Skittles, real quick.
Sure.
Yeah, nope.
Sorry, that was trial and error real fast, Skittles. My apologies. But what was your family dynamic like growing up again?
So I had both my parents in the house, and then I got a twin sister, and she had a dog, and I had a couple cats.
I didn't know she was a twin. All this time, I've known you 14 years or whatever. She's your twin sister?
Yeah.
No kid. I never knew.
You never knew that?
No, sir, I didn't. That's funny. Wow. Man. Who was the most influential person in your life growing up?
Probably my dad. Was my dad. I mean, of course, I was influenced by different stuff on TV and movies, and of course, people in sports and stuff like that. But I mean, overall, my dad definitely, I mean, he's the one that instilled my love of everything that I have of sports and things like that in me, as well as just, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to just go right into it. Me and Flat met on the Xbox when I was when he was about 12 and I was about 14 or so. And I feel like a lot of that, like a lot of our gaming friends really had a lot of actually good influence on our lives.
Yep.
So real quick to interject, are you on your phone or a laptop?
I'm on the laptop.
If you join the live on our TikTok, I think we can invite you and do like a double interview.
Okay, how do I do it?
I'm not that worried about.
Oh, okay. It's just one-sided.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Because if he was to like watch the live, we can invite him to be part of it on TikTok.
Whatever you want to do, Katie.
It's okay.
Okay, so anyways, Skittles, once again I apologize. I lost where I was at now.
We're learning together. It's okay.
I appreciate that, Skittles. What was your favorite cereal growing?
So I've never been much of a breakfast person, really. I've always been, I don't know, I've always been more of a dinner guy, I guess. But if you were gonna pin me down to the ground and beat me if I didn't choose one, I'd probably say Cap'n Crunch.
Captain Crunch. You just don't like the top of your mouth, do you?
Negative. Can't stand it.
Man, oh man. Where did you grow up?
All over the place, man. So I was born real premature, so they couldn't actually have me in the hospital where my parents lived at. My parents lived outside of Reno, Nevada, and so they couldn't have me at that hospital, so they had to throw my mom in a helicopter and fly her over to California. So we were born in California, even though we never really lived out there. And of course, we lived in the hospital in incubators for a while, and then I don't know, 3 or 4 months later, so my mom got to bring us home, and we lived in Nevada till I was 11. Then moved to Minnesota, lived there for a couple of years, and then to Washington State, and that's where I went to high school at. So I feel like I did a lot of growing up there, but at the same time, I mean, you already mentioned it, but I'm sober, and a lot of that part of my story happened in Florida, as well as I moved down to Florida when I was 18, and so I feel like I really did a lot of growing up down there, even though I wasn't technically a kid when I lived down there.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I grew up there a lot of ways too.
Perfect time for me to ask a little interjection question in here. When do you think a man is fully grown up? Did that make it through? When do you think a guy's fully grown up? I don't know if we lost him. What's going on?
Are you there, Skittles?
Hey, Skittles, can you hear me, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. My apologies. Something must have went wrong there. I apologize. You said so 18. You were still growing up. When do you think a guy's fully grown up, man?
Probably never really. I feel like I still need an adult most of the time. I'll be honest. I mean, like I say, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with my parents a while ago. Like I thought when I was a kid, I thought for sure like adults had it all together and they knew everything and all this and that third. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, wait a second. I don't feel any different than I did when I was 16.
Yeah.
And certainly I've matured in some ways, but I don't think we're ever. I mean, if I'm done growing, I'm done learning, and I don't feel like I should ever be done learning.
You hit the nail on the head with that, man. What's your favorite childhood memory?
Probably. So when I was 13, my dad got me on a golf team in school, and I loved going golfing and things of that nature, but I also loved when me and my dad would go out on the weekends on like a Saturday and go golfing. That was real cool. And then later on in life, when I was about 17 or so, which I don't know, you might count that as a kid or you might not. I still do. Yeah. But when I was about 17 or so, me and my mom, she took a business trip to Salt Lake City and she took me with her. And that had to be one of the best trips of my life just because I feel like we bonded and connected in a way that I hadn't really had with my mom before that point.
Gotcha. Always on the reverse side of things here. I know you watched enough episodes. What is your least favorite childhood memory?
Oh, there's kind of a lot to choose from there. I don't know. Least favorite childhood memory.
well, I'm glad you're struggling to find one.
No,
that's a
no,
good.
no. There's plenty. It's just which one do I really dislike the most?
Gotcha.
Probably one time my dad told me go outside and light the grill, and we had a gas grill at the time.
Mhm.
And I think I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old or something. I turned that old gas on and just let it run for a while. And then I pressed the igniter and a big old fireball came up and burned a bunch of my hair off and stuff. And that was pretty bad.
Dude, that happened to my grandma once. Her eyebrows never came back. Seriously, like that's not a joke.
She got them tattooed.
Yeah, my grandma. Oh, shit. Man, how would
That's
you say
awesome.
how would you say school was as a whole?
Oh, I couldn't stand school. I was just in a big hurry to get out of there. And I feel like I really robbed myself in a lot of ways in school because I just didn't take it seriously at all. And if I would have, I could have actually learned things that even if I wouldn't have used them, I would have used the skills that I learned in learning them to learn new things later on. You know it?
Yeah.
Like listening and note taking and stuff like that. I feel like I missed out on all that because I just didn't care about school.
Mm-hmm. I really want to thank you, because this is our first online. So I really want to thank you, like buffering and learning this. And so far it's been great. I just want to reiterate how thankful I am still.
No, I'm having a blast, man.
Awesome. When did drinking show up in your life? I'm not even gonna say when did the problem start. When did drinking show up in your life?
I started drinking and experimenting with drugs and stuff as a young teenager, out probably about 14 or so. And by the time I was 16, I had a buddy of mine start sneaking alcohol. And then by the time I was 17, I was already drinking every day. So,
Okay. Clearly drinking every day is a problem. Let's be real. But would you say at 17 when you were drinking every day, is that when you would say that it became a problem or later?
no, I already knew. Well, even when I was 16, I already knew something wasn't exactly right because when I was 16, I'd have my buddy steal the alcohol for me. And it would just be like on the weekends, and Monday through Friday, I just couldn't wait for Saturday. And so when I found out when I was 17, when I found out I could just drink every day, it was like a no brainer for me. It was like, oh, okay, I'll just do this all the time then. And I knew it was a problem already because at some point I realized, okay, it's not normal to drink every day. Like I should cut this back. I should cut this back to the weekends like I used to do it, and I couldn't.
Yeah. Man, when you sorry, your story, it's perfect for this. We get to kind of go back and forth a little bit. But 17, you were still in school. What was your favorite subject when you were in school?
None of them, really, man. Really, truly, I didn't like any of them. I had a favorite teacher, which was my animal science teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Which, interestingly enough, I probably did the worst ever in her class, but she never made me feel like a loser or like a bad student or anything.
Okay. What was her name?
Mrs. Page.
Mrs. Page. Okay, Katie, you got anything? Yeah.
What about animal science, though? Like, that's what you said is animal science?
Yeah. What was the most intriguing part?
No, it was just a more of a hands-on. It was just for me. It was just that it was more of a hands-on class, I think, and I had a lot better of a time with that than I had trying to take notes or listen to a lecture or anything like that.
Man, how did your dad feel about you drinking at such a young age?
I don't even know if he knew about it for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I mean, he knew I was drinking when I was 18 because they found some whiskey bottles in my room. But I mean, at that point, I was getting ready to move out of the house, and there was really nothing they could do about it.
Yeah. And you moved down to Florida when you were 18, correct?
Yeah, moved down there just like a couple of months after turning 18.
Perfect. Then I'm going to back up just a little bit. So I met you around 12. That makes you 14. So we were hanging out, whatever, over the Xbox. But we were hanging out about 6 years before you moved to Florida.
Right.
What was your, well, clearly we got to, can you, I guess, describe a day of our mine and yours life hanging out to the audience? Like how did it look playing on the Xbox with us?
Well, so me and Flap would both go to school or not.
Yeah.
And Prisoner to Painter is Flap, in case you guys didn't already figure that out. That's his gamer tag. That's the only thing I know him as. But me and him would go to school. We'd usually not very well attention in school, and then we'd come home I'd get home about 3:10, smoke me a cigarette, and then get upstairs and get on my Xbox. And we would just sit there, and we wouldn't even really play that much games. Like, we'd play a little zombies or something, but we'd mostly just be talking just like we are right now. And we'd stay on there watching Netflix, talking, playing the occasional game, and goofing off with other guys and stuff like that for hours and hours, like well into the morning, 2, 3, 4 in the morning easy, and then get up and try and go to school the next day. And it was like that every day. Dude, and then on the weekends, we would just sit on there all day on the weekends. Like, we wouldn't do nothing else on the weekends but just sit on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to TikTok. We got Jamie. We're at 2.4K likes, and they can hear you because we figured out how to make it so they can hear you. So I'm so glad. Thank you, Jamie, for telling us.
Yeah, and we think, so TikTok clearly is a good route to go, Skittles, which we already know that, but we've had a hard time doing it. So I'm very happy that we got to do yours for the first live over TikTok as well. So I'm very happy about this. Yeah. Good. Clearly you're my best friend, and like we already reiterated, we've never done one over live, and how I feel about it is kind of irrelevant because the way the world's turning, we kind of just have to. I mean, we kind of just have to, dude. Like,
I'm gonna interject. Who was a better gamer?
Me.
Yeah, Flap likes to think that, but we're definitely not going to go down that rabbit hole on this live because
that's all we'll talk about the whole hour.
We never get to anything else. We just be arguing about who got the most kills on zombies.
I'm better.
That may be true. You're definitely better than me now, Katie. That's for sure. Because
Yep, perfect, man. No, that's we lined it up just right, man. You have an eye condition, which clearly you can't just tell by looking at you, or unless but can't drive. When did you know you had an eye condition? Sorry for my mansplaining.
Oh yeah, I was born with it, so I've known about it my whole life, and always gone to eye doctors and stuff like that. And because it's been a part of my life my whole life, I just assumed that everyone else seen like this, and everyone else went to the eye doctor once a year and all that too. And it turns out that's just not the case.
What is the diagnosis? Because it is a degenerative eye condition, correct?
No, I'd say I'm pretty sure it's stable. I hope so.
Oh, okay.
So it hasn't gotten any worse. I don't know how to say it. It's a really big word, but pretty much it just leads to I can't see out of my left eye, and I don't see that great out of my right eye, and so they won't let me drive cars or planes or buses or anything like that. But it never affected my ability to game, though.
Yeah. Do you think you're and you clearly understand the point of what we do, so I apologize if any questions are hit too deep. Do you think your drinking problem ever stemmed from your eye condition? Like started drinking because you felt like you couldn't see and you were sad or whatever, or am I fishing?
I feel like I drank just because I liked to drink.
Okay. Hey, I get it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I mean, that's all there is to it. I just liked the effect produced by alcohol, and
Yeah.
that was kind of.
When you were still living at home, before we get into you moving to Florida, how was it? When me and you were kids, I don't feel like I ever heard you get in trouble or grounded. Did your mom and dad like did you ever get in trouble at home?
When I was younger, yeah, I got in trouble and stuff, but I mean, as I became an adult or a teenager and stuff, I mean, there was really nothing to get me in trouble for because I was just always on the Xbox with you all the time, and so.
Yep. Okay, man. Well,
I kept the drinking and the cigarette smoking and the getting high under wraps. I did get caught smoking cigarettes one time by my mom. I will tell you about that real quick if you want to hear about it.
Yeah, of course we do. Yes, we do.
So my mom and dad went to go to the store or something. I don't know, and of course they wouldn't allow me to smoke cigarettes, which I thought was completely unfair.
Of course.
And so my mom was always trying to bust me smoking cigarettes because she knew I was lying about not smoking. And I had been caught smoking cigarettes because I got in trouble for this. These kids blamed me for this thing that I didn't do. And like I got in trouble with the law and all that when I was about 14. And so they found out I smoked cigarettes. But when I'm about 17, my mom and dad went to the store or something, and I, of course, ran outside to smoke a cigarette real quick. And my mom, I guess, forgot something, so she came back to the house, and she walked out into our backyard, and she was like, "Christopher, are you smoking a cigarette right now?" And I was like, "Well, I'm trying to because I would." And she did not like that answer. And then my dad smoked, so she made me give him all my cigarettes.
Oh, geez. Well, in hindsight, that's not a terrible punishment. You know, it's not like, you know, some parents make you smoke a whole pack and make you throw up and all that, you know.
No, back in the day, not anymore.
Yeah, that would have been wonderful for me. I would have loved to have smoked the whole pack of cigarettes that I bought and paid for.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I remember my mom caught me once, and but she was out of smoke, so my punishment was that I had to give her cigarettes, but not because I was in trouble, because she was out of cigarettes. So it was like, oh. Man. So all in all, I clearly don't want to speak for you. All in all, it sounds like your childhood was pretty good.
Sure.
Awesome. So 18, you moved to Florida. Who do you move in with and why?
I moved in with some people I met off of Craigslist into their garage because I don't know, it just seemed like a cool thing to do at the time, I guess.
It shows his age, doesn't it?
Stop that.
Oh yeah, these people might not know what Craigslist is.
So, how did you not die?
That's funny. So you moved down to Florida, 18 years old, man. How long do you live down there for?
I lived down there about 12 years in total. I bounced back and forth a little bit when my dad got sick, but I spent the vast majority of my 20s down there.
And I know you have a lot of story, so if there's ever anything you really want to talk about and my questions aren't leading us there, feel free to take us right there. I just, because I know you have a lot of story. You've lived in, how many states have you lived in?
7 or 8 by now.
Yep. I was about to say, I know it's a fuckload. How many have you visited?
I believe it or not that many more than that.
Okay.
Probably maybe. Let's see here, because of course I visited you guys a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Probably 10 or 11, maybe. I mean, if you don't, I don't count just driving through and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If I'm talking about visiting a state, I want to be there for at least a day.
Yep.
When you came to visit us, was it your first time in Michigan?
Yeah, I'd never been to Michigan before, and I loved it.
Yeah, it is a nice state. Man.
We need to get you up here when the colors change up north.
Man, so like I said, clearly
I
you
had a
have
blast
huge.
up there, though. Really, that was.
Thank you. So I sorry. This is one thing we're gonna have to learn for future podcasts. There's a delay, so I'm sorry if I ever cut you off. I'm starting to realize that there's a little delay. Um, like I just said, clearly you have a long story, a lot of story, but there was one part that I did want to like clearly specifically touch on, and we are hitting about the halfway mark. So I want to you've been sober about 6-7 years. So can we talk about the last 2 or 3 years of your drinking?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, awesome. So clearly, like I said, I know that's not your whole story, but I feel like that's a huge part of it. So I just want to touch on it, of course. So how was the last couple of years of drinking, man? Like walk us through a day.
Terrible. The last couple of years of drinking was wake up, drink, smoke a couple cigarettes. And I mean, I'd go through phases in my drinking where I drink in the daytime, and I'd go through phases when I wouldn't. But
Okay.
certainly my worst times ever drinking was when I would drink in the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last couple of years, I started having very frequent blackouts, which people that never drank, they don't understand. Like, even people that just drink normally don't understand what I'm talking about when I say I have very frequent like
Yeah.
you just your body keeps going and you just don't remember any of it. And so what the last couple of years of my drinking looked like was very lonely and very, very isolated, because like I would get invited on by friends and stuff to go on trips or go here or go there. I really didn't want to leave my house because I knew that if I was going to be gone from my house overnight, I knew that I was going to end up drinking and probably black out and probably make a fool out of myself. And I had done that enough times to know that I need to just stay put, stay where I'm at, and so it was very lonely. And I knew probably, and I had tried to quit several times too. I should say that I have tried to quit several times by this point, by the last couple of years of my drinking, but it got so bad at the end, man. I quit being able to walk. I quit being able to eat. I just lived on this little air mattress with a puke bucket next to me and just would take little tiny sips of the alcohol because that was all I could take, or little tiny sips of water because that was all I could take to not get sick, you know? And I mean, it just got so bad, man. And I didn't even realize how bad it was because I wasn't leaving my house. So I just thought this was all normal behavior. I thought everybody that was 24 was going through the same thing. And I ended up going to the hospital. Some people claim that I had a seizure on the way to the hospital, but I don't know. I don't hardly remember. I was in and out the whole time. And then when I was actually in the hospital, I started to have real vivid hallucinations. And of course, they had me on all the nerve pills and everything like that. And they ended up keeping me in there for like 4 or 5 days, if memory serves, which is crazy. I mean, they don't keep you in the hospital for nothing anymore.
No.
And they were like not going to be willing to let me out unless I was willing to get some help for my drinking. And I really didn't want to.
Yeah. One thing you said that I still love this part of your story, your life. You lost mobility of your leg. How was that at first, man? Like clearly terrible. Like duh. But what was going through your mind, man?
Nothing real. I mean, I really didn't think nothing of it, man. I really didn't.
Okay. Sorry about that loud fun upstairs. No, but yeah, man, what did you think? Sorry, continue. I apologize.
I just felt everything that I went through, I felt like was normal, and I thought everybody else was going through the same thing. I did not think for a second that anything that I was going through was abnormal or related to my drinking or anything like that.
Yeah. They told you would never walk again, correct?
They said that I'd never have feeling in my feet again.
Okay. As far as I know, you have feeling in your feet again, right?
To a degree. It's not, I mean, it's not 100%. It's not like how everybody's is, but I mean, just for me, just the ability to be able to walk again and be able to get around and be mobile, I think is wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember towards the end there of your drinking, I clearly won't talk too much about it, but you sent me a video of you being able to walk again, and you were so embarrassed, which I get because I get it, but dude, that made me like tear up with joy, like for to go from not walking to be able to walk again. To me, that's a story in itself. So
Sure.
And then one other thing I want to touch on before we continue with your story. When you were growing up, was God a part of your life?
No, never. And I really didn't even want nothing to do with anybody that did have something to do with God.
Yep. Man, when did that change?
So it started to change when I was it started to change, believe it or not, when I was about 19. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, and I don't know, he invited some mean old woman over, and she was like trying to talk to me about God and and they worked together, by the way, and they were in cahoots to try and, get me to go to this Bible study, I found out later. Okay. But they were like, she was like, oh, let me give you a ride home, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I don't want to ride home from you. All you've been doing since I've been here is talking about this God thing. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to get out of here. Mm-hmm. And of course I didn't drive, and she just kept on pressuring me to like, let me give you a ride home. Let me give you a ride home. And eventually I finally just said, okay, let's go. And I got in her car, and I'm not kidding you, the door handle didn't work. She could have kidnapped me and took me anywhere. But I didn't know this at the time. But she ended up being just a very nice woman, of course. And but the whole ride home, she was like, Bible study. You got to come to this Bible study with me. And I was like, no. Like, no. And eventually she was like, I'll buy you dinner afterwards. And I had been living in this garage and like, not probably eating that much or that good or that often at the time. So I was like, well, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Mm. So I end up going to this Bible study, and the person that was leading the Bible study is still one of my best friends to this day. Awesome. And my pastor and the guy that led me to start thinking about getting sober and ultimately getting sober and all that. And he was like, anybody that doesn't know for sure if you're going to heaven tonight, raise your hand. And I raised my hand, and he was like, okay, pray this prayer. And I prayed it, and I was like, okay, but now what if I didn't believe what I just prayed? I said that out loud to the man in the alleged Bible study. Shit. And he was like, well, I probably wouldn't have admitted that in a room full of believers. That takes a lot of guts. And I was like, well, it just is what it is. And he just told me, why don't I hang out? And they put on some music after that, and I ended up having an experience that I believe and have always believed ever since was with God, because I felt the Holy Ghost come down on me. And if people don't know about that, it's just something that happens to people sometimes, and it's from the Bible and all that. But I felt this love come over me, and I didn't know what it was. I couldn't deny it. And so I went home and to myself quietly reprayed the prayer, and life really hasn't been the same ever since. But awesome. If I could take us back to the hospital for a second, if that's okay.
Yep. Yes, of course, please.
So I really hadn't been talking to God for a long time at that point. And what ended up happening was I just started praying. I was like, God, I really need your help. I really need you to do this for me, because like, there's no way I could do it myself. Mm-hmm. And I really said it, and I meant it, and I prayed it, with every bit of faith that I had in my body. And to this day, knock on wood, the desire that I'm going to rip my skin off if I don't get a drink feeling has never returned.
Dude, they say faith of a mustard seed, man. That's fucking awesome.
So would you say that could you like describe what the spiritual awakening thing is? Because that's what happened, right?
I don't know that I can really describe. I just prayed the prayer in the hospital there with everything that I had, and the desire was lifted.
Okay. Clearly, I don't know your whole story in chronological order, but you have tried rehabs before this point. You have tried other means of getting sober, correct?
Oh, sure. I'd been outpatient, inpatient, and all that, and something about, man, just this last time, I just had enough. I guess enough of that desperation to make it work. You know it.
Yep. What was the best piece of advice you have ever received?
Best piece of advice I've ever received, believe it or not, came from Flatmaster P when he was sober the first time.
Okay.
When I was asking him, and you might remember this, I was asking you when you were sober the first time. I was like, "Oh yeah, man." I was like, "You think I might be an alcoholic?" And you were like, "Well, I can't say for sure, Skittles, but it probably wouldn't hurt you to quit drinking."
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Sounds like him.
Yeah. What's the worst piece of advice you've ever received?
The
Don't
worst
say
piece
from
of
me,
advice
too.
Oh yeah, this one's from Flap too. No, definitely no. No, the worst piece of advice I've probably ever received. I really don't know. I feel like I've been lucky and received a lot of good advice. I feel like.
Awesome. No, that's perfect. We just have a funny way of always asking both sides of the coin, or we try to.
Right.
So yeah. Well, man. So we got the story up to it. How was the first year? Well, okay. Let me backtrack. You're in the hospital. You pray the prayer. I understand a spiritual awakening. A lot of our guests will understand it because we do have a lot of people in recovery that watches our stuff. So a lot of people will understand the spiritual awakening. So you're in the hospital. You have the spiritual awakening. What happens the next 2 weeks? Like how does your life look the following 2 weeks after that?
Well, no alcohol, which was a shock to me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'd forget too. So like in early sobriety, I'd forget that I didn't drink, and I'd be in the gas station like getting ready to go somewhere far away and be, thinking, "Oh, I need to get me a tall can for this," and then it'd be like, "Oh yeah, I don't drink anymore."
Yep. Yeah.
But I mean, the first couple of weeks after that was, treatment center, and whenever I was in there, it was like, I don't know. I felt sure of myself for the first time ever, and I really can't say enough about how hard the first year was.
Yeah.
Like, I know you asked about the first 2 weeks, but the first year for me was miserable, and I just hung on tight with everything I could to not drinking no matter what, you know it?
Yep. Well, to me,
And
your story of sorry, go ahead. I definitely cut you off.
No, you go ahead.
I was just saying, I really believe, now I know there's a lot of alcoholics and drug addicts out there recovering or not recovering. And I've heard a lot of stories, as I'm sure you have, speaker meetings and whatnot. I really believe that your story it's fucking inspirational. I mean, and not part of my mouth. Your story really, it just resonates with me. So I really am appreciative of you telling it, Skittles. Like really. And you're always honest and straightforward about it. You don't sugarcoat it. Because I've heard so many people say, "Oh, my first year was great and fabulous." My first year was also fucking terrible. So I don't know what these people are talking about.
Yeah, I had a bad time with it, and but I just kept on holding on and just kept on doing what people told me, and of course praying a lot. And for some reason, God just had mercy on me and decided to allow me to stay sober, is all I can think, because and for me, a big one was when I hit 6 months. It was like I finally believed in myself a little bit. I finally felt like, oh, well, if I can make it half a year, maybe I can do this.
Yep.
And now, which you'll know because you just hit 2 years, which congratulations on that, seriously.
Thank you.
But now 6 months, 6 months ago was when I celebrated 6 years, and it really doesn't feel that long. But that first 6 months, it was like holding on with everything I got. And same with the first year. And one thing that I think is so important for me and everybody else to understand about this is like, it had nothing to do with me. It was all God.
Yeah.
If I would have had to try and do this on my own, no possible way.
Yeah. I don't want to assume, and this is going to be a touchy question. Your dad got to see you sober, correct?
Nope.
Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. How long ago did you lose your dad? And I know your dad was a huge part of your life, so I just wanted to make sure that I brought him up. I'm sorry I brought it up there.
Oh, no, it's fine. No, he died when I was 23, and I got sober when I was 24, and
no shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's I mean, you know what, man? I really, and that's one of the things that makes me so proud of you, honestly, is like your whole family gets to see it. And like, I didn't really have much going on when my dad died. You know what? I was still just drinking and doing whatever I wanted, basically. And that just is what it is. But my mom got to see it, so that's cool.
Hey, ask me the best piece of advice I've ever received.
What's the best piece? Well, I'm not interviewing. What do you mean? But sure, let's flip this thing on its head. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
From your dad. He said it's my house, it's my bed. I'm never gonna be so. No, wait. I don't care how mad you are at me. I'm never gonna be so mad I won't sleep in my own bed. I slaughtered that, but I say that to her.
He does. He said, "It's my bed, it's my house. I ain't sleeping on the couch. I'm gonna be comfortable. I don't care how mad you are."
Yeah, you sleep on the couch. Dude, oh my God. Dude, your dad said that, and I've never been dude, I tell people that just for fun now. Like I just make sure everybody knows that.
Yeah, that is old Dale Cooley exclusive right there. I'm sure he'd be thrilled to know that that's what he's remembered for saying, because he was pretty proud of it when he said it too.
As he should be. As he should be.
I'd say so.
Man, how long were your mom and dad married for?
30, I think it was 31 or 32 years or something like that, since back in the 80s. So
awesome. The reason I asked that is leading into, and I don't ever want to rush anything. And I feel like we skipped over a lot of big parts of your story. So if there's ever a time you want to do a second one, I really want. But you just recently got married. And the reason I asked
back on September 20th, yeah.
Congratulations. Seriously, man. Do you think you can take some, well, clearly they were married 30 years. There's some good advice you could probably take from your parents about marriage, correct?
Sure.
Thank you, Theora, for the roses. Sorry, I'm running TikTok.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So I realized that wasn't really a question, that I kind of made that a statement. How did you and your wife meet?
We met on the internet. We met on a Christian dating app, and she drove 4 hours to come up and visit me.
Awesome.
And then after that, she brought me back down here for a week, and we just pretty much just been back and forth ever since.
Awesome. Either
she'd be up there or I'd be down here, and we just we got engaged pretty quick, and then like I say, back on September 20th we got married. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man, that was the best day of my life. Like, the only way it could have been better would have been if you guys were there, which of course you were invited, but I get it. But it was just amazing to have all of our friends and family there and celebrate with us. And I mean, just every part of my life being there, it was wonderful. And I couldn't have asked for a better day. I really couldn't. And I couldn't have asked for a better wife either. I love my wife.
Awesome. So I feel like I skipped over a pretty crucial part, which I know I did. So I do want to backtrack a little bit. So you got sober. and you're doing phenomenal sober, clearly. What was your first job when you got sober? You started brewing coffee, correct?
Roasting coffee, yeah,
roasting coffee.
specialty coffee, yeah.
Awesome, man. So, do you want to just tell us a little bit about how that goes, and then we'll go into your next job, and then I'll ask you my wrap-up question.
Yeah, so roasting coffee, it's I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, I guess. You pour a bunch of coffee beans in a big spinning machine, and it spins them, and it's got fire underneath it, sort of like how a gas dryer would look, except they go in from the top. And the machine I used, you could fit probably comfortably about 13 pounds in there, I'd say. Damn. So you lift them up there, and they roast in about 12 or 13 minutes, and then you dump them out onto this big fan that is also sucking air from the bottom, because the faster they cool, the better they taste. And then you just put them in bags, and believe it or not, you can't drink. I mean, you can drink coffee right after it's been roasted if you want, but you shouldn't, because it won't taste very good. It's got to set 3 or 4 days. And that's pretty much the process.
The reason I ask that, and never do we have a political standpoint, or never do I ask questions with an agenda, but I just have always admired you that you've had a seeing problem, and a lot of people would take it and just take the disability. You have gone out of your way to have some pretty damn hard jobs for being somebody who doesn't see that great. And I've always admired you for that, like sincerely. So I just wanted to make sure that we touched base about brewing coffee. But then secondly, you got into, I don't want to slaughter it, but you started helping other drunks. Can you explain that job for us?
Yeah, so to say. So a buddy of mine started doing recovery type events and activities at this local veterans organization in my town. And he invited me to come along, and we basically started doing it together. And then over a period of time, I became more involved with the organization, up into such a way that eventually I got asked to be the assistant office manager up there.
Yeah.
And that was a big fancy title, but what it really had to do with was being somebody that I could sit there and people could come into the office and talk to me if they felt like they needed to talk about something, especially recovery related. Mm-hmm. And because one thing that the boss said that really sort of, I don't know, I always thought was cool, was they said, whenever Chris Cooley's in the building, recovery's in the building.
Yeah.
And that was what I did up there. And that was a long job up there as far as hours go. I mean, It was a lot of times we was in there 50 hours a week and weekends and everything else, just keeping things going, keeping things running. And I mean, we did disaster relief and took stuff down here one weekend. Yeah. I mean, it was quite the job, and I loved every minute of it there. I really did.
How much you guys helped? Do you mind telling that story about how I was able to help before we get into the
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Awesome. So, and you can jump in at any time, but I don't remember well, so
it was for a hurricane, but I don't remember what hurricane.
No, I know what you're talking about. So there was all this flooding down here in North Carolina, and they ended up needing a bunch of body bags. Yeah. Which I know sounds very morbid, but it just is what it is.
Yep.
And that's what they needed, and that's what we ended up being able to get them. But I reached out to Flat because, of course, nowhere in Tennessee were there any, and nowhere in North Carolina were there any at the time. And he ended up reaching out to somebody that did, was it your uncle's funeral?
Yep, exactly. Yes, sir.
And got me their number, and I got in touch with them, and they ended up saying, I'll say right who it is right on here, because I'm sure they wouldn't mind me to say, but Michigan Memorial up there sent something like 120 body bags. And my bosses offered to send them a receipt so they could use it as a tax write-off, because it was worth like a couple grand, I think the guy said, and he wouldn't even take the receipt to get himself a tax write-off.
Dude, those guys were just everything about them were so damn admirable. You know, they were just great people. So I'm very happy that they could have helped. So.
Well, and you guys helped because you guys are the ones that got me in touch with them. So,
you know, and it seems like that's what we're good at. If it's not, we're just trying to help, and it seems to be working. So, where are you at now? Before I ask my wrap up questions, you're married, happy, living where, and how's everything going?
down in North Carolina, and everything's going really good.
Awesome.
Only one thing is I am between jobs right now. I'm looking for something, but and I feel like on a podcast about success, I feel like people would be nervous to say that. But I'll just say to anybody listening, like, it doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you're a loser if you don't have a job right now, because it actually is tougher getting one than what people make it seem like. I mean, I've applied and just either haven't been getting calls back or, you know, one thing or the other. But, you know, sort of like we were talking about this morning, I'm going to just keep looking, and eventually something's going to come up, and it'll probably be the right thing. So.
Well, and I'm hoping maybe this helps at all. I am very impressed that he spoke on that. He wasn't going to bring that up. But you can find success in a lot of different ways than just having a set job. Because you have found success in finding a happy marriage. You found success in sobriety. You have found success in repairing whatever relationship, whatever relationship you may have broke, because I know that's how amends work. So you have found success in 100 other ways. So fuck them. Man, no, Skittles, this has been great. I've had a fucking blast. Thank you for doing this, seriously. We ask the same wrap-up questions to every single guest. Starting with, is there anything that I didn't ask that I should have? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything you want to share?
No, I'd say I feel like it was extremely thorough.
Thank you. What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is it's different for everybody, but in the end of the day, if you feel proud about what you're doing, whatever it is, whether it's a recreational activity, whether it's an employment opportunity, whether it's a life change, whatever it is, if you genuinely feel proud doing it, and it gives you a sense of pride that you want to get up and do it, whatever it is, every day, then I would say that's what makes a success.
Yes, sir. And then Katie's wrap-up questions.
If you met younger you and vice versa, like younger you met you now, would you get along, and also vice versa?
I would say no but like, I don't think that younger me would have liked now, and I don't think that I would have liked younger me.
You're going to be fighting?
Fair enough.
Well, he'd probably be trying to fight.
And then if you could use one word to sum your entire journey up from where you started to where you are now to where you think you will end up, what would the one word be? It has to be a real word, and it has to be one word.
I'd say hope.
Beautiful. So we broke one of our rules. Well, we broke a lot of rules tonight, but I'm happily did them for you. I could not figure out an e-gift card. So we are going to send one with that gift for your wedding with it. So we just cannot give it to you over the internet, unfortunately. We still have to figure out how to do e-gift cards, but it will be in your package that we are sending.
We don't have the technology to just hand it through the screen. So,
and honestly, we did an e-gift card before for a guest that was here, but that was easy because like they were right in front of us, trying to figure out. It just was not. It was not as easy as we thought it would be. So, so I think that's normally what we do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, Skittles, this was fucking awesome, man. We'll end the live, and then I believe it just kind of kicks us both out of here. So,
all right, man. Well, hey, thanks for having me again, and thanks for inviting me on, and for both of your wonderful questions. And can't wait to see what the future of Prisoner to Painter looks like.
Skittles, I really did enjoy this, man. And then I'll talk to you soon regardless. But thank you for joining. Thank you guys for joining. More importantly, seriously, thank you the most. But thank you guys for joining. And then we'll see you guys next time. Skittles, I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Bye, Skittles.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.
I got it.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, TikTok. Thank you.